Alrighty, so now we've got another 4 interesting looking beers in front of us, seeing a lot of different colour in these too. So, Maddie, why don't you talk us through what's in front of us?
All right, so if you grab your left glass first, I think Duncan's got them in the right order, hopefully.
Thank you, Duncan.
Thank you, Duncan.
Thank you, Duncan, for your impressive pouring.
You're welcome.
What beer is this, mate?
So this one here is a pretty recent addition to the Revel stable, the Reveling Pale Ale. So this is pale ale, but 3.5%, so mid-strength. So the idea of this is to have the same flavour as the pale ale, or as a pale ale, but be a bit more sort of better for people that want a lower alcohol beer. Yeah. The trick to making a good mid-strength beer, I think, is when people drink it, they don't realise it's 3.5%. You actually think it's 4.5 to 5, like a full-strength beer. But yeah, you get the benefits of being able to have a couple and still ride your bike home. Or
What's some of the things you do to sort of make a beer sort of like appear like a full-strength beer and give it that flavour?
That's a good question. There's a few different, I don't know if they're tricks or just ways to do it. With the mashing profile for the brewers out there, mash the beer at a higher temperature so it leaves more unfermentable sugars in your beer, so it gives the beer more body.
Okay.
There's different malts you can use, so dextrin malt. In this beer I put in some Carahal, which is one of Hendo's favourite malts.
One of my favourites.
So that's a malt out of Germany that they use in lagers to give beer a bit more body. So basically you put the malt into the beer, and instead of fermenting and turning into alcohol, the sugar or the dextrins will stay in the beer and give the beer the body and the mouthfeel.
There's a bit of a biscuity note in there as well.
Yeah,
what makes that?
It's a little bit of Munich malt, and again a little bit of crystal.
A little bit of Munich, a little bit of
A
crystal.
little bit of Munich, a little bit of crystal, and then
I think the biscuity note's really good to give that. It's pretty, like, in the scheme of things in the whole beer, it's pretty punchy, and so it's like oh, there's some biscuity character happening there. It's like, yeah, I can.
So you're almost trying to trick the drinker into thinking it's a full strength beer.
Because the last thing you want, right, is for a low ABV beer to taste watery, because that would defeat the purpose. So, from a brewer's perspective, you got to pack in a lot of flavour punch in a really small package.
Yeah.
And there's some challenges around that.
And these are different malts and hops as well, as opposed to the pale ale, or are they some similarities?
Some
there?
of the malts are similar.
Yeah.
And it has a lot more of the dextrin malt I was talking about in the pale to give it that body.
Yeah.
And then it has the same amount of hops as the pale ale, just different varieties.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Just to change it up a bit.
Yeah, no, it's definitely doesn't taste watery, or like the dial's just been turned down on it just so that we can lower the alcohol a bit. So yeah, definitely something you can enjoy if you want to have a couple and drive home or
absolutely.
something like that.
It's been quite popular.
I'm going to do a Duncan this time around and just empty all the glasses, because last time around he was just like all empty glasses. So.
Yeah, you made us feel bad. Now we need to join in.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, come on. Get into
Keeping
it.
up with the Livingstones.
I didn't catch moving here, so yeah.
That one's all right. It's a mid-strength, so to finish that.
And then moving on, so what have we got there?
So the next one, this was a specialty or limited release. We brewed this one with one of the lads that anyone that's been into the brewery will know, Geordie. So
Shout out to Geordie.
Shout out to Geordie.
What a legend.
He's the second longest Revel employee. So good effort.
Right? And you're the longest, I take it?
I think so, yes.
Yep.
Sort of by default, they netted me before they started the brewery. So, but Geordie's been here since the start. He worked in the kitchen, washing dishes, flipping pizzas, to now he's running the venue, runs everything really.
Yeah. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Like, you run shifts and stuff like that?
Yeah, he's been, over summer, he's been the venue manager.
Wow.
Yeah.
Tells me how to brew beer. But
join the brewing industry. Lots of
opportunities.
Career progression.
so he's studying engineering, so that's where the name came from. And he came up with this concept. He wanted to make a strong hazy pale ale. So between Geordie and I, we sort of went back and forward, come up with a beer recipe, and he came in on the day and brewed the beer. Yeah, so it uses a classic hazy yeast. For the hazy fans out there, East Coast Ale. So it's probably on, 10 weeks old now, so it's not quite as hazy as it was. Even the best hazies will unhaze That's not really a word, but
Dehaze.
over time. But there's still a lot of flavour there. It's actually held up really well. So it's still got plenty of aroma. Got a little bit of toasty malt in it.
It's similar to that IPA, yeah. You get that nose there, and there's quite a bit of smell there.
Yeah.
I would have thought that when I'm looking at the name, that I can't remember who did it, but there was something about, there was a taste testing about natural hops and engineered hops. And I haven't seen much of the engineered hops kind of thing happen after I saw that initial thing. Can't remember who it was or who did it. It might have been Epic. I don't know who did it. But what's this Geo with?
It was Garage Project.
Was it?
They did.
So they did.
Mecha Hop and what was the other one they did?
Yeah,
It was like So one was like all just regular hops.
Yeah.
And the other one was like all hop extracts and.
Yeah, that's right. It was hop extract. I can't
remember what the other one was called.
I can't remember.
It was called a Robo Hop or something.
No. That's kaiju beer. So
They did it at the mill for one of their garage party projects.
Yeah.
Garage
So
project.
the path that
Parties.
Duncan's going down here is that I guess hops are processed in a few different ways. Generally in the brewery, we use them in pellet form because they're a lot easier to use in the brewery. There's not as much wastage and that sort of thing. Some breweries like Sierra Nevada still use hop flowers, but you need sort of specialised equipment to do that unless you want to make a lot of mess. But nowadays they're finding different
Haven't you
ways.
done that, though?
I have, yes.
How'd that work
We
out
won't
for
go
you?
down that path. I'm due to do that again shortly, actually. But in terms of the hop extracts and that sort of thing, as technology goes on, they're finding different ways to extract certain parts of the hop to sort of maximise what you're getting out of the hop.
Yep.
A thing that's probably kicked off in the last couple of years is a thing called Cryo Hops, which they do it over in Yakima. So they're basically freezing the hop and then pulling out the flavour, the lupulin and all the flavour compounds, and it's a lot more concentrated than a normal hop pellet. So it still comes in a pellet. It's really good for dry hopping and stuff. And there's another thing called hop hash. So if anyone's been to university and remembers the old parsley grinder, basically when they process the hops and make them into pellets, it gets stuck on the blades of the pelletizer, and it's basically just big chunks of resin. So you can also buy that. So both of those things are in this beer, hop hash and also cryo hops.
Right. So not
that
just the
really
hop pellets,
basically
yeah.
just amplifies all the hop aroma and flavour.
Yeah, and that's what sort of makes it strong as such. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
So they're more expensive to buy, but you get a lot more bang for your buck. So
Yeah.
you don't get as much plant and vegetal matter as you do in a normal hop pellet, and particularly in a hop flour.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well,
Very interesting.
Shout out to Geordie for coming up
so
with
well
that
done,
one.
Geordie.
Thank you, Geordie.
You've got a cracker
Thank
of a
you.
beer here. Hope
Yep.
you're enjoying your holiday in Nepal or
Yes.
wherever he is at the moment.
Is he walking lots or?
I hope so, yeah.
Yeah,
wow.
He's
He's
doing
out in
something
Nepal.
He's
else.
in Nepal at the moment, I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
a madman.
Good on him. Good kid. All right, so moving on down. Now, this one's the most interesting looking colour that we've had today. So let's have a taste of this one, the Strawberry Wishes.
Is there fruit in this beer?
A little bit of fruit, yes.
Yeah, which fruit?
Or you have a guess.
What was the name
Did
of
I
the beer
give it
again?
away? Or?
It's very fruity.
Yeah, very
Fruit is
fruity.
nature's candy.
So this beer is a beer we've been making now for a while. This is probably the fourth or fifth batch we've done. It's become sort of quite popular. The base beer is a sort of traditional German-style Berliner Weiss. So that's a kettle sour where it goes through a process in the kettle. Lactic acid bacteria will make the beer sort of sour, I guess. We ferment the beer out like a normal beer, and then it has strawberry puree added to the beer. So in 1,500 litres, we put 100 kilos of strawberries.
Wow.
So it gives it that
Just
really
Woolies
nice.
at Balimba or?
Yeah.
My
So
God.
if you smell this one and also the appearance, it really looks like a strawberry cream lolly.
Yep, it does.
That's sort of what we're going for.
Is this a slightly different colour than what it's been
Yeah,
on
well,
other
in-
batches?
As craft beer evolves, or as the brews evolve, they always come out a little bit differently. So there's another ingredient I put in it to give it a little bit of colour.
Yep.
So does anyone know what that is? I can guess.
Flavour enhancer or
No, it's
something.
no flavour. It's all natural.
Or natural.
It's another fruit or vegetable.
Another fruit. Oh.
Guava.
Close-ish. It's a root vegetable.
Beetroot.
Yeah. So just
He just gave it away.
initially, when we made the first ever batch, it came out like bright purple.
Right.
So, and then to the point where you could actually taste the beetroot. So the idea was to use it as a colour without flavouring the beer too much.
Yeah.
So gradually I've toned that back to where it is now, where it's just given it a nice bit of pinkness without being too overwhelming.
Strawberries are a really interesting like fruit to work with because they pack loads of flavour, and even though they're like red, they don't impart any colour into a beer. And so if Maddie didn't use the beetroot, then it would look like, you know, a regular beer and the
Probably
way
the
that
colour
people,
of rosé wine.
yeah, people
yeah.
perceive, you know, they drink a beer with their eyes before they drink a beer with their nose or their tongue. And if it didn't look like strawberries, then people would just go, "Where's the strawberries?"
Yeah.
But in order to get the colour, you'd have to add a stupid amount of it'd just basically be strawberries, really.